Hello and welcome to the Horizon Camper Builds YouTube channel. My name is Eli, and in today's video I'm going to share with you the similarities and differences between a full-size SUV camper and a minivan camper. To help me illustrate my points, I have a 2001 Ford Excursion that has a camper build for 2 people. On the other side, I have a 2002 Honda Odyssey that also has a camper build for 2. So the way I'm going to do this video is I'm going to break it down into 6 categories and tell you in each category which vehicle will do it better. This hopefully will help you determine whether a full-size SUV or a minivan would be a better camper for you. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, folks, we're going to start with category number 1, which is outdoor camping. Outdoor camping can mean established campsites or wild and dispersed campsites for overlanding. Both of these vehicles, the minivan and the full-size SUV camper, would be able to do outdoor camping. However, the full-size SUV like this Ford Excursion would do it better. You can do wild and dispersed camping with something like this because you have 4-wheel drive. In the case of the Ford Excursion, we have pretty capable 4-wheel drive system with front and rear locking differentials, all-terrain tires, as well as good ground clearance to allow you to get to some remote locations for overlanding. The Ford Excursion does have an awning that can be used for outdoor camping purposes. The camper setup on a full-size SUV such as this Ford Excursion is primarily designed for outdoor camping. We have a gravity style sink that is completely removable, and you could see the 7-gallon water container will dispense the water inside this sink bowl, and then the water is collected in this other 7-gallon water container. We have these drawers with built-in toppers that can only be accessed from the outside. We also have this fridge that can be accessed both from the outside and inside, but can also be moved somewhere else. In order to power the fridge and the outlets that are inside, we have a fixed solar panel as well as portable solar panels that come with this rig, and this will give you about 300 watts of power to charge a 100 amp hour battery to be able to power the fridge and the outlets in this build. If we look at the camper design on a minivan like this 2002 Honda Odyssey, we see that we can also use it from the outside. We have an automated sink with a water pump that can be accessed both from the inside as well as from the outside. We have a counter that doubles in size that can only be accessed from the outside, as well as a fridge that can also be accessed from the inside as well as from the outside. The minivans would be ideal for established campgrounds, but can also do some wild or dispersed camping if the location is easy to get to with a front-wheel drive minivan camper. Category number 2 is going to be stealth camping. Again, both of these vehicles are able to do stealth camping, but the minivan camper is going to be much more effective and better overall for that purpose. The reason why is because these minivans are very unassuming. You could see nothing on the outside really indicates that this is a camper vehicle. The only thing really is the addition of 2 fixed solar panels on the roof, but these solar panels are very thin, so if you are at eye level with the ceiling of this van, you can't really tell that they're on there. Let me go ahead and open it up to tell you why I think it's a better stealth camper than a full-size SUV. First of all, you get a lot of headroom inside of a minivan versus an SUV. If you were to sit on this bench, you can sit up straight. You do have overall pretty good interior space to move around. This is currently in the single bed bench configuration, but it could become a double bed for extra sleeping space. You could see the storage that you have underneath. We have even more storage right there by the windows. Speaking of the windows, you could see the window inserts are pretty effective at blocking outside view inside this van. These Reflectix have vinyl covering on the inside to give them a better look, but also they are black from the outside, so when it's dark it's almost impossible to see that these are on the windows, which would help with stealth camping. Like I stated earlier, this kitchen can be accessed from the inside pretty easily, as well as the shelf, the top and bottom shelf. And this shelf right here on the side can be flipped over to become a table. So when you're sitting right here, you're able to use this to maybe work on your laptop or have something to eat. Stealth camping is also possible with a full-size SUV camper like this Ford Excursion. You could see the current setup is for 2 people or 1 person to have a lot of room to be able to sleep inside. The reason why I think that SUVs are a little bit less ideal for stealth camping is because the ceiling is lower, so it's a little bit more restrictive to move around in here. Also, in the case of this Ford Excursion, we do have a sink that can only be used from the outside. With all that being said, you can also do a single bed and bench configuration by removing the second mattress. Let me go ahead and show you what that looks like. So I went ahead and turned this into a single bed and bench configuration. So now you're able to sit right here on the edge of the bed. There was a cover that I removed, so you can use this as a floor area, and this will allow you to go ahead and flip over this shelf and use it as a table. Again, this would be ideal for stealth or indoor camping. Category number 3 is passenger vehicles. Only one of these camper vehicles can also be used as passenger vehicles, and that would be the full-size SUV Ford Excursion. Let me show you what that looks like. So here we see that we are now able to use the second row bench to transport up to 5 individuals, including the driver. We went ahead and folded the extensions and the mattresses, and now you could see they're nice and snug behind the bench seat. So this is not only just a camper, but also can be used every day as a passenger vehicle. In the case of the Honda Odyssey, you could see that this is more of a permanent style build. Although you are able to partially or fully remove this build to reinstall the seats, it's just not as convenient or as fast as the Ford Excursion. You can potentially just remove this section and reinstall only the second row captain seats, but in about 30 minutes or so you can remove everything and reinstall as well the third row seat, should you want to ever use this van as a passenger van. I should mention also that the build on the Ford Excursion is also completely removable, so you can also reinstall the third row seat, which would make it a 8-passenger SUV. Category number 4 is going to be compact and nimble. This one is going to go to the minivan campers. The minivans are generally smaller in size than a full-size SUV like the Ford Excursion or the Chevy Suburban. The minivans are going to be much more nimble. They're going to drive like a regular sedan. They're going to be easier to park pretty much anywhere, and this will make them ideal for urban camping or stealth camping. You could see that the Ford Excursion is huge. This is considered to be the largest SUV ever made, and even though it's not impossible to park it, and it actually drives really nice, it's got a lot of power, it's just not as nimble or as compact as a minivan. Category number 5 is going to be cargo hauling and towing. This one is going to go to the full-size SUV like the Ford Excursion or the Chevy Suburban. And the reason why is because these vehicles are super long. So when you do remove the mattress, you have about 95 inches of length, 48 inches of width, flat surface area to carry a lot of items. In addition to the flat surface area, we have some side shelving that can carry smaller items. In the case of this Excursion, we have this area that used to house the spare tire that can also be used for storage. Same on this side. Also, we can use the drawers to carry some more items. In addition to the interior space that you get for cargo hauling, we have a 4x8 roof basket to store some items on the outside. Ford Excursions are based off of 3/4 ton pickup trucks like the Ford F-250, so they are very heavy duty, which make them very capable in the towing department. These rigs can tow up to 11,000 pounds. If we look at the minivan camper like the Honda Odyssey or the Toyota Siennas, the camper design inside will still allow you to use it for transporting cargo, and it's also a pretty good amount. You could see when the mattresses are removed and the camper setup is in the double setup configuration, you could see all that flat surface area that you could use to carry a lot of items should you want to transport some cargo. As far as towing is concerned, I don't believe that the Honda Odysseys came with a tow package. If they did, it is probably something like 2,000 or 3,000 pounds of towing. Nothing major. Nothing like a Ford Excursion with the impressive 11,000 pound towing capability. Category number 6 is fuel economy, and this one is a no-brainer. This one will go to the minivan campers like this 2002 Honda Odysseys. Minivans of this era were getting anywhere between 25 or 26 miles per gallon on the highway. Now, if we look at the Ford Excursion, this one in particular, this one does have a big V10 motor, and it's not gonna get the best gas mileage. This one is rated around 12 or 13 miles per gallon on the highway, and that's being generous with those numbers. On the upside though, you do get a 44-gallon gas tank, which would give you almost 500 miles of range, which is actually not that bad, but it will come at a cost. On a side note, you can get a Ford Excursion that gets decent gas mileage for what it is. You can get it with the diesel motor. You can get one that either has the 7.3 diesel or the 6.0 diesel, and I believe those are rated around 17 or 18 miles per gallon on the highway. As an added bonus, I'm gonna talk about why I think the Chevy Astro is a good compromise between a minivan camper like this Odyssey and a full-size SUV camper like the Excursion. The reason why I think these Chevy Astros are a good compromise is because even though they are considered minivans, they are built on a truck chassis. So they do come with all-wheel drive. They are rear-wheel drive, just like a truck or an SUV, but they do offer an all-wheel drive option, just like this one. So when we talk about outdoor camping, we do get the capability of going to some remote campsites because we do have all-wheel drive option. Also, this particular Astro does have the awning for outdoor camping usage. And let me go ahead and open up the barn doors to show you the camper build that's inside. That's not only accessible from the inside, but also from the outside. So you could see we do have an outdoor only drawer. We have a sink that can be accessed from the inside as well as from the outside. And same goes for the fridge. Also, the Astro is a very effective stealth camper, just like the Odyssey. So you could see the window inserts are on the windows, blocking the views from the outside. We are currently set up in the single bed and bench configuration with a flip over shelf that becomes a counter or a table. And then also you get lots and lots of headroom, even more than the Odyssey inside of an Astro. When we are comparing the size of the Astro to an Excursion or the Honda Odyssey, overall the Astro will be shorter in length. The reason why is because these have a very short front end and a short wheelbase. So these are considered very compact in size, also very nimble. Parking them is very easy due to their size. By removing the mattresses and setting it up as a double camper, you can carry a lot of stuff inside, but also outside the van. You can see we have a very large roof basket. This one does have a fixed solar panel on the front side of it, but you could use the rear side to carry a lot of stuff on the outside of the van. When it comes to towing, the Chevy Astro does offer a tow package. These vans will come with a powerful V6 motor, a 4.3 liter, that would allow this van to tow up to 5,000 pounds if equipped with the tow package, just like this one. When it comes to transporting passengers, this would be considered a 2-passenger vehicle and a 2-person camper, but you can completely remove the entire build and reinstall the 2 bench seats that came with this van to turn it back to a passenger vehicle configuration. It's not as easy as the Ford Excursion, but it is possible should you want that option. And finally, when it comes to fuel economy, the Chevy Astro will be right in the middle between the Odyssey and the V10 Ford Excursion. The Chevy Astro all-wheel drive will get about 18 miles per gallon on the highway. So that concludes today's video on the similarities and differences between a full-size SUV camper and a minivan camper. I hope that you've enjoyed today's video. Until next time, take care, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.